And out of that, my sister Gina mentioned that, and I'm very particular about using the word my sister, because we are doing this for blackness. And so they come back home, identify their roots, and out of that, we've grown diasporic tourism in Ghana big time. If you look at the numbers before year of return, it is obvious that year of return has added a lot to Ghana's tourism. And they are contributing. They're coming back home, they are reconnecting, they are networking, they are identifying new opportunities. They are coming back home with knowledge that we traditionally wouldn't find in Africa. And so they are influencing the African community, and we're excited we are with them. We are excited we have them, and we'll continue to engage further. I thank you.
All right. I want to lift up one of your panelists, Dr. Gina Paige and the African Ancestry Network. One, how critical and important it is for us to have black identity as we talk about tourism. And as Dr. Leonard Jeffries would say, it's all about economics, politics, and culture. But very briefly, if you remember Dr. Jabril Diallo at our conference this year in front of 3,000 people, not only did I reveal publicly on the screen my African ancestry DNA test, which traced me back to the Mafa people in Cameroon, but not only did we do that, we made contact with the Mafa people, and they traveled as a full delegation to the conference. We brought the full delegation on stage to give tribute not only to African ancestry that allowed for me to trace my family's roots, but we made a commitment as they invited me back for dual citizenship. They invited me back for a ceremony to welcome me back home, and most importantly, to start to position Cameroon as an economic power within the region, all because of your black business, black woman. So what I want to say to you, please just give Dr. Gina Paige a round of applause. And what we are going to do next year for the 125th Quincentennial celebration of the National Black Business Conference is we're going to offer a service for every registrant to get their DNA test prior to the conference. So we'll talk about that in partnership. And we are here to help you monetize, because black identity, black African identity is crucial to the next phase of our development. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you, distinguished guests, for having us here in this panel today. So I represent the African Tourism Union, which is a conglomerate of 25 African countries working together on investment, trade, and tourism to the continent and connecting with the African diaspora. So one of the first things I like to say is that the African continent doesn't have a problem with tourism, it doesn't have a problem with investment, and it doesn't have a problem with trade. What it has is a problem with perception that these things aren't relevant and aren't thriving on the continent. So we, as a union, work together to change that perspective, also to partner with companies like National Business Alliance, the National Black Chamber of Commerce, African Ancestry, to really show and connect Africans in the diaspora with the continent, so they can go back not just to live, but also to invest, to trade, and vacation, go there with their families. African Americans alone spend $20 billion a year on international travel. Less than 2% of that goes back to the continent. And when they do go back, it's usually split up between 3 countries, which are South Africa, Kenya, and now Ghana, thanks to their year of return. I think that we miss out on a significant amount of that because of miseducation. So we have to inform African Americans, African Caribbeans, African Latinos about the different diversity you have in Africa for tourism. Most people think of tourism in Africa, they think of animals, or they think of what I like to call poverty tourism. But they don't think of Africa for skiing. They don't think of Africa for some of the top beaches in the world. They don't understand the luxury hotels that are available in Africa. And that's not all their fault. because we all, as African countries, have to do a better job of learning how to market our countries. Senegal, for example, is one of the countries I think can be one of the gateways to the continent because it has everything there that you need. It has a short distance from America, only 7 hours direct flight. It has the African Renaissance Museum, which is actually taller than the Statue of Liberty and the Eiffel Tower. It also has a thriving economy, beautiful beaches, and pink lakes. So we had to show people what's there, and then they'll come. And then by showing them what's there also, it'll invite investment. It'll invite trade. Because people can't invest or trade someplace that they don't know little about or nothing about. So everyone in this room, I challenge them to learn more about Africa in terms of what there is to offer and then how they can be a part of it. And like I said, tourism is a great entry point for all of that. Thank you.